Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well by learning truth. 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men prophet service scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be another video for NY Prepper. You see, and basically going to be just an update video of things that is happening basically between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump with this alleged meeting that they're about to have soon come, which they're going to be discussing peace, which we know ultimately no peace is coming, man, at the end of the day. Even though we know that that's what these leaders keep talking about, that's what they're promoting, that there's going to be peace deals between Russia and Ukraine and things are going to go back to normal. We know that's not what the scriptures say, you see, because we know that there's a time and season for everything, right? As it tells you right here, I'm going to grab that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens, right? And I'm going to read down to verse 8, which is the point. It said, verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Verse 6, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Verse 7, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, right? Verse 8, which is the point. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And that's the season that we're in. You see, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has the spirit of war in the minds of these leaders right now, because that's ultimately the time that we're in and that's what's coming. Right? In Matthew 10 and 34, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right, representing destruction, represents division, represents people being at variance, even these nations, these countries. Right. So even though we hear that Vladimir Putin and Trump is trying to come up with a peace deal and things like that, we know that that's not going to happen, man, because ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is controlling the board and controlling the minds of these leaders. And World War III is going to take place, man. No matter how many discussions they try to come up with to try to avoid it, it's inevitable because it's going to happen. It's a part of prophecy. You see, so at the end of the day, we know that, hey, even though they're talking about what they're going to do, is all about the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which we know is going to stand regardless. So I'm going to actually prove that. This is Proverbs chapter 19, right? And I'm going to start at verse 21, right? In the KJV, getting straight to the point. And it says, there are many devices in a man's heart, you see, meaning his mind, you see. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So guess what? Despite whatever it is that Putin and Trump may talk about at this meeting that they're having, if it doesn't align with what the scriptures say, then hey, we know that's not going to happen. And we know what it says in the scriptures when they say peace and safety, right? As it tells you right here in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So we know that, hey, there won't be any peace, man. You see, even though that's what they're trying to discuss and trying to, ultimately to bring about, that's not what's going to happen, because that's not the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's not what goes according to prophecy. You see? So I'm going to get into this video and we're going to listen to what it is the guy's saying. But before I started, I'm going to say fair use on 1976 Copyright Act. Not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes, only fair use.
What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NY Prepper. It is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 15:51 Eastern Time here in the United States, and I wanted to update you on the situation with the Trump and Putin meeting in Alaska. So the latest news we're hearing is that Trump will be meeting Putin in Elmendorf Air Force Base, which is in Anchorage, Alaska. That's the biggest Air Force base in Alaska. That's where we keep our F-22s. And Fox News is now reporting that U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth may join the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska. So this is absolutely huge news. So Trump meeting Putin at one of our Air Force bases. I wonder if Trump is going to show off our F-22s to Putin. And what's interesting is one of the Russian nuclear war frequencies known as the buzzer, this is one of Russia's primary nuclear war frequencies, transmitted an interesting code a few days ago where they used the word friendship. So this came right after the news broke that Trump was going to meet with Putin. It was literally the day after they transmitted this code that said friendship in Russian. So let me play this for you. This is the Russian buzzer. So very, very interesting. And Trump and Vance will hold an online meeting with Zelensky and European allies before Trump's meeting with Putin. And from what I understand is that Trump held a conference call with Zelensky and several European leaders just a few hours ago, earlier this afternoon. And a reporter asked the White House press secretary yesterday if Trump made a mistake when he said he is going to Russia, or if he was saying that because he was planning a trip to Russia. And Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, responded and said perhaps there are plans to visit Russia in the future. So very, very interesting. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that Trump's planned meeting with Putin on Friday is not a victory for the Kremlin and should not be seen as a concession to Russia. It will be exploratory in nature. Okay, so he's not saying that, okay, this is immediately Trump giving away half of Ukraine to Putin. He's basically saying that this is exploratory, so they're trying to figure out more of what Putin is thinking and talk face to face. And Trump actually made some comments today at the Kennedy Center about Russia. So I want you to listen to what he had to say. It doesn't seem like Trump is going to be giving away any land to Russia. Seems like he's maintaining a firm stance against Putin, but I'll let you listen to what he had to say.
With Vladimir Putin Friday in Alaska, do you believe you can convince him to stop targeting civilians in Ukraine?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had that conversation with him. I've had a lot of good conversations with him. Then I go home and I see that a rocket hit a nursing home or a rocket hit an apartment building and people are laying dead in the street. So I guess the answer to that is no, because I've had this conversation. I want to end the war.
Okay, so he said he's not...
Right. And you brothers and sisters just heard what it is he said. He said that right after him and Vladimir Putin allegedly comes to an agreement over the phone of peace. And soon afterwards, guess what? Rockets began to, start targeting Ukraine's territory. So like I said, at the end of the day, World War III will happen. Like nothing is going to ultimately stop these conflicts from escalating, man, because that's the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The Lord is going to intensify these things, man. So even though they're trying to talk about peace and bring that about, that's not going to happen. You see, because as it tells you in Proverbs 21:1, that the king's heart, right, meaning his mind, is in the hands of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So guess what? It's Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that's controlling the minds of Putin and all of these other leaders, making them do the things that they're doing. And like I said, that all goes back into us being in the time and season of war. So, hey, nothing is going to happen to make these things go down. You see, they're only going to continue to escalate and to build up as time moves on, you see. Because ultimately, that's the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Like I said, World War III is prophecy, man. And it's going to come to pass. And no amount of cease deals or peace talks is going to stop that, man. Right? And I'm actually go to another precept just on that, man, because it's ultimately the will of the Lord, man. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to bring these things to fruition. You see, this is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 11. It says, so shall my word, what is the word of the Lord? These prophecies, be that goeth forth out of my mouth, right? Who's the mouthpiece of the Lord? The prophets. It shall not return unto me void, meaning empty, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So all of these prophecies, you see, they're going to come to pass at their appointed time that the Lord has set for them to take place. So even though, you got Trump trying to talk about peace, that's not what's coming, man. You see, at the end of the day, because the Lord is the one that's controlling the minds of these leaders. And the Lord, ultimately, we know what he wants to bring all of these leaders to, right? As it tells you right here, I'm going to grab Joel. Because this is the plan that Yahweh Shem Yahushua ultimately has for these nations, man. Even though they're talking about peace and, all of these different types of other things that they want. But it's not what they want. It's about the Lord, you see, and his counsel that's going to stand. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations, right? Talking about America, Russia, all of these different nations, right? And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Yahweh, right? And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You see, so ultimately, World War III is inevitable, right? Because the Lord is going to bring this conflict to light, ultimately to judge these heathens for what they have done unto his people. You see, so no matter how much they try to avoid it, hey, it's going to come full swing, man, because it's the will of the Lord, right? And there's no stopping it at all, right? So, yeah, we're going to get back into this video, right? And we'll listen to a little bit more, right? But like I said, brothers and sisters, these things will take place, man. We know it, even though they're talking about peace, that's not what's coming, right? Because they'll be hollering and saying peace. And then 2 days later, like Trump just said, in the little interview or whatnot, Putin is finna be right back bombing Iran literally after they had their peace talks, man. And like I said, that all goes back to the Lord controlling the minds of these men, all allowing his will to be manifested and to be brought to pass. You see, his counsel, right? These prophecies, man, right? So at the end of the day, no peace is coming, right? What's coming is war, right? Nuclear war, right? Which is what ultimately World War III, right? Which is the Battle of Armageddon, right? Is going to lead to. You see, these nuclear missiles, these ICBMs being shot off and being used, man, that's what's going to come. So this war is only going to continue to escalate. And the tensions between America and Russia are only going to continue to get worse. You see? All leading up to the will of the Lord being fulfilled, which is judging this place, Babylon the Great.
Get Putin to stop attacking civilian targets.
You are not going to believe who I moved this with yesterday.
Yeah, was it your super uptight?
Salakia for that ad, brothers.
Putin to stop attacking civilian targets. And here's another clip. Let's take a listen.
The opposite. No. We had a very good call. He was on the call. President Zelensky was on the call. I would rate it a 10, very, very friendly. I know the leaders because I was at NATO, as you know. I took it from 2% to 5%. The opposite. No. We had a very good call. He was on the call. President Zelensky was on the call. I would rate it a 10.
Okay, so he's saying he had a good call with Zelensky and the European leaders.
Right. And we hear what it is that Trump is saying. Like I said, because he wants to be Mr. Peace, because he knows that if America gets dragged into a war, which is already in, with Russia and all of these other different countries, because mind you got America on multiple different fronts. You see, you got America in the Asian Pacific, you see, training with the Philippines and all of those different nations out there to go against China. And you got them in the Korean Peninsula, you see, doing drills with South Korea against North Korea. Then you got them out there, aiding those Amalekites, those little hats, and Israel, you see, with the whole conflict between them and Iran. So America is spread out above, all the earth. You see, they're spread out thin. And now soon to come, hey, you're going to have America, ultimately getting ready to send troops to Russia, man, or to Ukraine, which we know they already have troops out there, you see, that they had fighting in the war. But, hey, they're going to eventually do that because guess what? Like I said, this whole peace deal that they're trying to come up with is going to fail, man. You see, it's not going to go in the way which they think. You know, that's going to come to an end soon too as well. Even if they do come up with a conclusion and they come up with a deal that all of the parties can be happy in, it's still going to be something that's going to happen that's going to break all of that. Because ultimately, like I said, the Lord is controlling everything. And he wants these nations to go to war, man. And he's going to make them go to war. So at the end of the day, despite what they may believe or what they may say or what they feel, hey, it's not about them at the end of the day, man. You know? So I'm going to grab this precept right here. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 20. Right? And I'm going to read verse 24. Right? In the KJV, and it says, man's goings, all right, are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? You see, so at the end of the day, the Lord is the one that's controlling the minds of these men, like I said earlier. So guess what? At the end of the day, the Lord is going to make it to where they're going to all end up, you know, being at odds with each other, mainly Russia and America, you see, which we already see the tensions between them are already heightened. Because you just had Vladimir Putin sending nuclear submarines over here to America, and vice versa. You had Trump do the same thing. So how ultimately are they going to be at peace with one another when you just had these two nations threatening each other with nuclear warfare, which we know that's going to take place as well, right? So at the end of the day, like I said, brothers and sisters, no peace is going to come at all. That's basically the main part of the video. You see that there's not going to be any peace, despite what these leaders are saying and what they're trying to come together with. You see, no peace is coming, man. And I'm actually grab that 1 Thessalonians, right? Chapter 5, and I'm going to read verse 3 again, but I'm going to read it this time in a different translation, right? I'm going to read it in NLT, right? And it says, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, right, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. So like I said, man, right when people believe in their minds that, oh, this war is going to go back to normal, people are going to, think everything is, smooth and everything is calmed down. And guess what? That's when the Lord is going to allow things to escalate worse. You see, that's when tensions are going to get more heightened, right? When people think that everything is about to go good. You see, because ultimately that's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's controlling everything, man. You see? So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say for today's video. Lord's willing to be edifying. Just some quick through the spirit, a little update video. But, yeah, like I said, no peace is coming, man, at all to this place, America, or to these other nations and countries. You see, what's coming is judgment, right, from the Lord. So, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.